They say, money cannot buy happiness, but it's not quite true. Money can buy the tools. Finally, happiness you have to make your own. Money buys the tools to make it easy for you to be happy.
Hey guys, welcome to my podcast. I am Alex Sebastian. I'm a 4th engineer in Merchant Navy, and on today's podcast, we have a very important guest with us who is going to share his life experience and knowledge about the industry. Allow me to introduce him properly. He is a chief engineer in Merchant Navy with 35 plus years of sailing experience. That's huge. And he has been teaching marine engineering since the last 9 years. So to give you an idea about his career path, he became a marine engineer in the year 1977, became a chief engineer in the year 1988. Since then, he has worked with one of the most renowned companies in the world, that is TK, Burge, BW, etc. And now he is passing his legacy to the young minds like us, to the young generation. So I am pretty sure in this podcast you are going to learn a lot. So let's welcome Mr. Prasad Godbole and let's move on to the video.
But the homies lost. Pour out some liquor, but the homies lost. Gone away, I'ma make you say.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but in this video I'm not wearing any epaulets because of obvious reasons. I forgot them. And this is basically a typical example of Murphy's Law. Yeah, what has to go wrong will go wrong, so you cannot avoid that. So my bad, my apologies, but please don't mind that and focus on the video. So here we go.
Hello guys, I know you are his viewers, and I hope after this podcast also you remain his viewers, okay? Even if this podcast doesn't go well, I know he's got a very good channel going.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that, sir. Okay, sir, just to give you a gist of it, how it's going to go. So I'm going to ask 10 to 11 questions, and these are generic questions. I hope these questions are a lot of cadets or 4th engineers or junior officers have these kind of questions. So it's going to be generic questions. So let me know when you're ready so that we can start with the questions.
Anytime.
Alright. So okay, I have noted the questions down, so I'll just start with it. The first question that I would love to ask is, considering when you were a junior officer or a junior engineer, how did you maintain your relationship with your family, friends or girlfriend when there was no internet at that time? 1977, so no internet, I can say that.
True. Internet was unheard of. One thing you must remember is, at the moment we are so used to immediate contact that we feel that we cannot do without immediate contact. That's right. What has happened. But those days we did not have immediate contact. So even phone calls were extremely expensive, and from most places it was impossible, which meant we had in our mind that we are not going to hear from each other for a month. Now the question is, how did you manage? There's no point asking, because we didn't have it, and we don't want you to manage for 1 month without contact. No, that's not what we expect. When times have changed, of course people will change with that. But the crux of the matter is, if in order to continue any relationship, if you need constant contact, then there's probably something not very right with that relationship.
Right, sir.
Finally, every relationship is based on trust. So unless you speak to your girlfriend for her to remain your girlfriend all the time, then probably she is not the right girlfriend for you.
Getting that point, right?
They say, if you love something tremendously, you just let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours forever. If it does not come back, it was never yours. So struggling to hold on to it because you have the possibility of a phone call every day is not such a smart thing to do. That's my take on that.
But sir, in this kind of field where we are constantly half of the year or more than half of the year we are out, and considering that right now I'm 25, I don't have a girlfriend by the way, but considering that many of the cadets or junior officers are right now getting married, I can see that, and right now are in a relationship. I've seen many breakups happening on board. So that's why, what is your advice to them, or what is your take on this basically?
Okay, that's a very good question, because this is something that almost no shippy is aware of before he gets married, nor was I. I was just lucky to get the right kind of wife, but after that I have sort of developed some strategy what you guys should adopt, so that you don't have to depend on luck as I had to. You see, our life is very different from a landlubber's life. When a girl, whether she's your girlfriend and later becomes your wife, or whether it's that what dekh ke karne ka shadi, that conventional or that type of marriage, in both cases the issues are still the same. The issue is, she is not aware that the life I am getting into is very different from what I have seen around me. She knows a family life, what is in her house, like her father is a landlubber, her neighbors are landlubbers. She has no idea what is the life of a shippy. And now after getting married, when she suddenly finds that many of them love it, as my wife did, or most of them don't, and that's where the problems come. So it is our responsibility as a seafarer to make it clear to them, this is the life. That does not mean it's a bad life, it's a wonderful life, but you need to make it clear that these are the good points, these are the not so good points. You be prepared for them. Once we are prepared, then we can take full advantage of the good points and find a good enough solution for the not so good points and have a fulfilling, happy life. पर उसके लिए it is our responsibility, each seafarers, to explain to the to be wife well before she decides हाँ इसके साथ मैंने शादी करनी है. Then because there are so many pluses to this. When you talk about half the year he is not there, look at the other half year when he is there for 24 hours. And how you spend those 24 hours are important. You have a choice. Either you can loll on the sofa, put on the TV, have a beer in hand and make a nuisance of yourself, or you can be a full part of the family in your children's growing up. Then it's a wonderful life.
It's a beautiful experience.
So the quality time that we get with our children is much more, mark my words, is much more than the quality time that a typical father is able to give to his children. You should not look at the 16 hours that he is at home. 8 hours are gone in sleeping. The remaining 8 hours he is getting ready in the morning, hurry to go to work. That time बच्चों के लिए time नहीं है. Evening when he comes home, they come tired. Naturally, he is not a clerk somewhere. He is doing some responsible work. So he comes home. There are files. But I don't mean these files. My files are in there. Tomorrow's decisions, the day after tomorrow's decisions. He does not have time to play table tennis, football, stuff with his son or whatever else with his daughter. We have that time. So ये जो quality time है ना, it's irreplaceable. So when we talk of half the year not there, it is more than matched by the half year that you are here, if you use that half year properly. As I said, lolling on the coach is not the way to spend time. It's a very personal thing.
So basically, sir, you're telling to open up to the wife. Like this is my case. These are my things on the table right here.
Yes.
If you do like it, then we are good to go. We can give this a try.
Yes.
Right. So good take, right? Good take. Okay. The second question is again, what are the things to be considered before getting married to a seafarer? So it is a third perspective question. So let's see.
So since you asked this question from the perspective of the girl, as I can say, okay. Right. So all those girls who are watching this, okay, let me tell you something. This is a wonderful life, but your part in that is much more of much greater responsibility than a landlubber's wife. Also, it has got far greater amount of authority. At the moment, in most houses, you will see that is the father who takes the decision. The mother is pretty much subordinate in that. I will not say all, okay?
Yeah.
There will be a lot of places where it will prick. But yeah, in the Indian context, today in most houses it is like that. But in a shippy's house, it cannot be like that. It's like in a normal house now, the fridge is not working. The mother tells the father, is fridge खराब हो गया. That's the end of her responsibility. He हो जाएगा फिर. वहाँ ऐसे नहीं है. She has to look for a guy. She has to make sure that he is not taking her for a ride. फालतू में पैसा नहीं लगा रहा है. सचमुच में कार को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. प्लम्बर चाहिए. All that she has to do. स्कूल में बच्चों का क्या है, इलनेसेस तो होते ही हैं बच्चों के. That time she is the only one who is going to manage that. Okay, and for that, as the other side, Now she is taking all the decisions and taking all the responsibilities, and believe me, women generally take much better decisions than guys if they are left to themselves.
Okay.
Under pressure from a guy, वो थोड़ा अलग होता है. What they say seems like an irritant. It takes a completely different direction. When the wife tries to correct the husband, the correction takes a back seat. And you always talk to me like this. वो direction अलग होती है. But when she is totally the boss, she knows सही होगा तो मेरा ही सही होगा, गलत होगा तो I am going to be in trouble. They always take better decisions. Right. You see the results of SSC, HSC, IAS. अभी IAS का result आ गया. Girls are majority. So hey, they are able to study stuff properly and they are able to find solutions properly. That's why they are first. Husbands don't allow them to do that correctly. That's the problem. यहाँ पर husband का वो लफड़ा ही नहीं है. He is there. When he is at home, पूरा उसके हाथ में सौंपा दो. He will do everything. You can relax. So either way, no friction का काम बात नहीं है. And okay, so you ask the question from the girl's perspective. Right. So if a girl is ready to do that, then the pluses are great. The money is very good.
Right, of course.
And as we said before, the freedom is very good. When you have the husband, you have him all the time.
Right.
You can hand over the kids also to him. Study bhi tumne lena hai.
Sab karo.
No, this is how it used to be in our house. I was one moment I came home, बच्चों मेरे हाथ में. I have to take the study for this everything. When I am not, she takes. So there is no clash. We can completely enjoy our and they say money cannot buy happiness, but it's not quite true. Money can buy the tools. Finally, happiness you have to make your own. Money buys the tools to make it easy for you to be happy. Right. Finally, happiness will only come with wisdom. वो तो अगर wisdom नहीं है तो तुम कभी happy नहीं हो सकते. But wisdom है और पैसा नहीं है तो फिर भी happy होना मुश्किल होता है.
I'm very true.
Every time local में लटक के जाओ, it is tiring. It's tiring. So this gives you all, and you see the whole world at somebody else's expense. When you are sailing on the ship, there is no kitchen in the house. In that, we don't have a kitchen. So she has absolutely nothing to do. Nothing to do can be a bane or a boon. Okay? Yeah. Somebody can say nothing to do, nothing to do. Or somebody can say, I have full time. मुझे electronics सीखना है, मेरे music सीखना है, मुझे painting करना है, मुझे. I have seen both types of wives on board. Those who are horribly bored and those who could not have a spare time. They learned. My wife learned table tennis. She learned swimming. Everything she knows, she has learned on board.
So you took your wife with you on sails? Right?
All the time. Okay. All the time she used to sail with me. When my daughter went to school, then the school started making noise. So we had to cut it down. Okay. But still, every year she was there. So was my daughter.
Okay.
She has seen much more of the world than I have. In fact, both of them. Why? Because when you go to port, they were the first one down the gangway and the last one up the gangway. They used to see the whole. Those days there was no Google to
right.
show you around. So things were much more difficult. If you don't know the language, you were in trouble. But still, she saw it all because she had decided, I am going to make the best of what I have here. So if the woman thinks of that, then there is no life like this. Wonderful, wonderful life. No problem which cannot be solved.
Right.
I say.
So that really answers this question. So if the girl is watching, I'm you know what to do. Like you got your answer, right? Basically. Moving on to the third question. Now this is like a tedious question. Did you ever feel that you need to quit sailing during your career to spend more time with family or due to family emergencies? ऐसे लगा क्या आपको?
Okay, I'll split this into small little parts. Okay. First thing, as I told you, that if your wife is the right one for this kind of life, then you are at peace on ship, knowing that whatever are the problems, she is taking care of them.
Right.
Now there is a difference between solving a problem and taking care of it. Please remember that every problem cannot be solved. You take care of it, meaning you do your best to do it.
Right, sir.
If she has done her best and it could not be solved, then it would not have been solved by you being here either, because she has done her best. ये वहाँ पर दिमाग में होना चाहिए. मैं होता तो कुछ बड़ा चीज़ करता. You are not, health problem होगा या कुछ घर का होगा या ऐसे कुछ होगा. For everything there are experts. You are not going to cure anybody. You are not going to rebuild some wall which is crumbling. Somebody else is going to do it and is going to charge money. All that your wife has got. तुम वहाँ जाके कोई बड़ा पहाड़ नहीं तोड़ने वाले हो. You have to get that clear, and this is an unfortunate thing that everybody, a lot of people who stay out of family, away from their home, they feel अगर मैं होता तो करता. You are not Superman. She knows how to handle it. तो उसके लिए तुमको अगर छोड़ के आना पड़ा तो things are not being handled properly. That's what I would say.
Right.
You actually are spending more time
with your
more good time. So in order to spend more time, वो नहीं होगा. No.
Quality time is important. You are spending quality time.
And you get both actually. It's not just quality time. It's quality and quantity. See, at the moment, because you are fourth, until you clear your chief's ticket, you will find that you want to sail all the time, and your time at home is limited. Once you have finished all your exams, then you only need to sail enough to become a non-resident. That is 185 days a year.
Right.
Beyond that, you can spend a lot of time at home. So quantity भी बढ़ती है, quality तो है ही. So there is nothing like it. एकदम first class है. You don't.
Right. So again, related to this only, how did you deal with homesickness during family emergencies, and what is your take on this?
A little bit, I might end up repeating myself.
Okay.
But when you say family emergencies, there are a few things that come to mind. One would be a medical emergency, which would be. The other would be financial emergency, which has come. Third could be a general emergency, in the sense there has been an earthquake in your city and a lot of stuff has fallen down and stuff, and nobody knows what to do, kind of thing.
Sure.
But ये सब में, finally by you reaching there, you are not going to give oxygen to that person. You are going to supply the money. Who is going to arrange for oxygen?
Right.
Okay. And we say कि घर का जब ये होता है ना हॉस्पिटल में, you need somebody from home to do that. Today, services are available to do that, because whatever problem you are having, 1,000 other people have got. So solutions are already there. It costs money to have this solution.
Right.
Abhi old people are there, you have 24-hour people to stay.
Yeah.
At one time, all old people always were in their own house. Okay, they were lying in a cot in the corner. And now, of course, it's easy to say that time they were being taken care of much better. Was that true or not? I personally have my doubts.
Right.
You know, because that was not professional help. That was the daughter-in-law would चाय लेके देगी, ये देगी. Yeah, but घर में है तो you know बहुत अपनों के साथ है.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great thing, of course. But if you can afford professional help, that is no less. It's different. You can't say this is better or that. That's different. It costs money, and you are not there because you are earning money. So you can get a replacement for that. अभी क्या नहीं है, if you concentrate on what you don't have, then you are always going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
You just concentrate on what you have. Ye emergency is going to be solved without you. If it's not solved, it means it was not going to be solved even with you being there.
Okay. So I would just, I know this question is kind of repeating itself. I'll just divide it into two, break it down. So when we say homesickness, it's like it's based on you.
Yes.
When we separate family emergencies and homesickness, so let's not talk about family emergency because we have answered it all. Now homesickness is basically when you were a junior. Did you ever feel that अंदर से होता ना कि now I need someone to talk to, like that? So you become homesick, you start recalling your memories and everything. So how?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does happen, and there is no silver bullet to solve that. For the simple reason that homesickness आता ही है for different reasons. एक तो you have been used to staying at home and now you are suddenly outside. Right. But not only outside, everything has changed. The kind of food you get, you may not be liking. The people treat you because you are the lowest in the order.
Yeah.
So everybody treats you like dirt.
Junior only. Yeah.
Yeah. No, today it's not like that. Today you are treated like a junior.
Okay.
Before you are treated like dirt. There is a difference between the two. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you want, you can cut it out from this.
No,
but
fine,
let me tell you something. We used to have 2 fifth engineers. We were not called junior engineers or trainee engineers. We were 2 fifth engineers.
Okay.
And whatever our names, and there was a junior fifth and a senior fifth. Okay. Among the two.
Okay.
The senior fifth was known as bastard. The junior fifth was known as asshole.
Okay.
It was not random names, okay? There's a reason for that. The junior guy just joined and the training was not like you got now. You have a very good idea what is a ship, what is a bunker tank, what is port, what is starboard, what is sounding, what is haulage.
Sure.
हमें कुछ मालूम नहीं था. So it go on board. So asshole.
Oh crap.
Then slowly he gets to know stuff, and when he gets to know stuff, he also becomes slightly over smart. He realizes that the second engineer is in charge of me. I don't have to listen to third and fourth much.
Okay.
So he does not back answer them, but he would find reason, ये काम दिया है, so I cannot do your job. So he becomes a bastard. So ऐसे ही नाम था, ऐसे ही मतलब this is how people were treated. So उससे homesickness बहुत आता था. Where have I landed up, And the money that time, you don't really need the money because you have no expenses. You are just an unmarried nut hanging around. So तब money does not mean much. आता है फटाक से चला भी जाता है. So that time homesickness used to come, and the only thing is time. Time is there. You just don't move from there because there is no other choice now. Okay, तुम घर जाओगे क्या करोगे? घर वाले तो लेंगे ही नहीं घर में. साला इतनी खर्चा करके तो पढ़ा है और वापस तो घर चल. So the only thing is to tough it out. चला जाता है वो. Once you start enjoying what you are doing, homesickness goes away. But there is no silver bullet कि ऐसे करने से ये होता है.
Right.
No.
I got to know a lot of history from this. Trust me, when we were in college, we were taught everything about ship. Like basic से basic चीज़ बताई गई थी, and therefore when I went to the ship, it was not something that I did not know. It was just a refreshment. So basically, college time helped me a lot.
Yes.
And sir was basically in charge of the practicals, so he used to teach me about ships and everything. And because of that, I was familiar कि कैसे होता है ship में. The stairway and everything was same. Basically, everything was same.
Yes.
So I don't know about the history, but Api ka time is much better than.
Definitely.
Much
definitely. It's people in my age now, we tend to say old is gold. In this case, it is not gold at all. It was horrible. Training was non-existent. Now it's wonderful. It's really good.
Right. Moving on to the next question. So this is a tedious question again. So, sir, how do we open up to our families regarding the problems that we face on board without really giving them stress? Just we need someone to talk about it, and same time, let's not be stressed about it. I'm just sharing my point of view. But family hai, so
yeah,
you get.
I got it. First and foremost, whatever are the bad experiences, don't share.
Yeah.
If you fall sick, you got raging fever, you are on a phone call, don't mention to them that you got raging fever, because there is nothing they can do about it from here except to worry. You are getting all the help that you need.
Yeah.
Medicine से ये है, by nowadays by radio contact,
Office, yeah.
video से भी आ जाता है, and medical
Sure.
advice you get. So whatever help you need, you are being given. They cannot do anything for you.
Right.
So if you are having a fight with somebody, they are not being treated too well, you don't have to share with them. Share with somebody else on the ship who can give you a solution, because there are two ways of reasons why a person speaks to somebody else about his problem. One is he is expecting a solution.
Right.
Then you talk to a guy who knows more about the problem than you do. That is one. Second is we want a shoulder to cry on. उससे कोई solution is expect नहीं होता है. So that you must try and avoid doing.
Okay.
Because as it is not just as a shippy, everywhere else in life,
right.
Shoulder to cry on is boring for that shoulder. Okay.
Actually, it is. But
You laugh, the world laughs with you. You cry alone. So best thing is go to a person who actually can give you advice. See if you agree with it, then do it, and otherwise forget it. But खराब चीजें share ही मत करो. Or if it is bad, share it as an adventure. As an adventure,
okay.
Where they can also enjoy it rather than go into tension. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. You are passing through pirated infested areas. No need to tell them. क्या करेंगे वो
जात के भी क्या ही कर लेंगे.
क्या करेंगे? बाप आने के बाद you can give wonderful stories and they would love to hear them, but that time tension नहीं देने का बिल्कुल. So that is something that you have to take on yourself. Bad times are there, they are mine. Good times are there, they are everybody's.
So that really answers the question. That okay. So this question, actually one of my friend faced this kind of problem, and as a junior, how previous time still few of the aspects are still there, not gone completely. So he was kind of feeling lonely, and what happened was the whole crew was linguistic, different languages, and this guy was from north and the rest of the crew was from south. So they used to talk in their own language, and he was left alone. So he had literally no one to talk, and as a junior, if he doesn't know anything, people are still going to yell at you, ye nahi aata, wo nahi aata, and everything. So he kind of got into that phase ki he has no one to talk about. So therefore he started opening up to the family, and then family got very worried. And family called the company, we don't want our child there, just take him off karke. So it was a big issue for him. So he later on, the CTO, the company training officer, called him, consoled him. They even had a discussion. Right now, these kind of things are happening on board. Ki junior ke liye ho raha hai aisa. Then he was kind of settled, but still now he's giving his exams. Still now I think there's this aspect. It's there in this memory, right? Ki ye nahi hona chahiye wapas. So therefore, I guess he might have got his answer.
Since you have described the whole issue,
Scenario.
let me tell you something.
Sure.
I told you about that guy calling one guy an asshole, one guy a bastard. You can imagine the rest of the sentences which followed.
Oh, crap.
So what I am saying is, being too soft is not such a smart thing in life.
Getting it.
Abhi, just because others are talking in, you have got multinational crew. They are talking Chinese, the guy is talking Romanian, there is somebody else. यहाँ पर तो north और south है. If there is a limit to how soft you can become, and for this issue, I blame our own generation, including me.
Okay.
The reason is, as you were growing up, when we were growing up, parents did not have that much money. Generally parents did not have that much money.
Right.
So asking for something and being told nahi milega was a normal thing. And when we were growing up, when we were my parents' age, we earned much more money than them. Much more things were available, and our idea of love was to give more things to the children. तो कभी आदत नहीं हुई कि there are lot of things that you cannot have. ये आदत हमने तुम में नहीं डाली. We are at fault, not you. So वो बच्चा अभी he is a victim of that. मेरे पास बात करने को कोई नहीं है. अरे बहुत लोगों के पास नहीं होता है. Stop crying. Be yourself. अगले जहाज में मिलेगा. You will get people to talk to you. Maybe this ship is like that. Next one will be better. You are not married to this ship, no?
It's only a matter of 6 months. Basically. 6 months के बाद crew change.
So that 6 months you have to be tough. अभी वो you start one vicious circle from there, talking to your mummy, mothers, parents also. See, again those parents are my age, and again see how bad we are. If I had gone to my father with a complaint like this, saying your problem, you manage. अभी ऐसे नहीं होता है. वो कंपनी को कॉल करेंगे.
They did.
And probably in those days, if they had called the company would have said, he is an adult, we will deal with him. Father की जरूरत नहीं है. ये भी होता. Everything has changed. We have all become so soft that even the smallest thing is hurting now. जूते में एक कंकर आ गया तो चल ही नहीं पाते. Previously people were walking without shoes.
Right,
अब वो हमारा चला गया. We are to blame. We, you, all of us. Okay, for these things.
I'll surely have something to teach my kids. Okay. Moving on to the next question. This is a light question. So, what is your take on shore leaves?
Shore leave.
Yes.
Now here I must say that you are much worse off than we were.
Most awaited question.
Yes. And it is really unfortunate from your point of view that now ships stay in port for a much shorter time than before. So the amount of because there are less number of people on board, you now have much more maintenance to do, which means very many times you simply cannot go, or you are so tired after the day's work that even if you have time, you find it very difficult to go out. So to that extent, you are unfortunate. But only thing I can add to this is, when you go out, you need to be clear on where I am going, because now your time of going out is very precious.
Short, yes.
Very precious. Much more precious than what our time was. So you need to use it in a much better way than we did. We use it in a better way, matlab kya hai? If you go shopping, it's a waste of time because everything you get here.
Yeah.
Those days, a lot of us used to run shopping, including me, because यहाँ पर Coca-Cola भी नहीं मिलता था. You know, anything foreign was बाप रे. So we ran shopping. So at least you don't have to waste your time in shopping. So each country has something special to
explore.
Museums of natural history or many of these amusement parks which are very well known. ये कुछ मिलेगा तो उधर पहुंच जाओ. Buying something is a waste of time. And drinks, I leave it to each guy how he wants to deal with. I would advise कि when it's a company is dry, best is not to drink. That does not mean to say कि तुमने बिल्कुल दारू नहीं पीनी चाहिए. I would say once you sign off, get so drunk that the airline also refuses to take you. No problem. At least finally you will reach home.
Right.
But तुम वहाँ रह के दारू पियोगे तो चलो we will throw you out of a job, na?
Right.
So that will be the most expensive drink you have had. The crores of rupees that you are going to earn throughout your career has gone. That is the cost of that. So ये बार में जाने के चक्कर में मत पड़ो until you have signed off. Then you go live in that bar only, no problem. But till then bar avoid करो, shopping avoid करो. Whatever else new you get in that country, experience that. What else can I say?
So
But
I would like to add a point. When I was your student, I am still your student basically. You in your lecture you said Mark Spencer's is Mark Spencer's here and Mark Spencer's is there in Europe also. What is the point? What is the difference? If you're going to Europe, just enjoy the culture over there. So just to add this point over there, yeah, I get that point. But so I was on a bulk carrier. My last ship was a bulk carrier, and unfortunately my ship used to stay on port for a longer duration, 2 days or 1 day basically. But the thing is ki whenever we used to go out, we used to get very less hours, I would say, not even days, like hours, 4 hours on shore leave, like, and after that you have to return to my second engineer is so strict that he called me. So 4 घंटे में basically shopping करने जाएंगे, and that's what I did. My first shore leave, I went to a mall, and it was same like India. I ruined that day completely. Otherwise, I would have gone to some restaurant, I would have tried this, but I did not. So if you can learn something from my experience, as
true.
I said,
because 4 hours you're saying is very true. You can't really go looking for something rare, but the least then you can go to a restaurant and not ask for something of your choice by saying local cuisine.
Local
Maybe
cuisine.
you can't even fill your stomach, but you have to try those
that,
different
right.
tastes, and you are lucky to be there. Just take it in, take it all in, whether it's the sights, the smells, the food. Yeah, you're right.
so at least I got a shore leave during COVID. Many of my friends did not even get a single shore leave in 7 or 8 months. They were on board continuously.
True.
So lucky.
True. But in COVID, even here people were stuck in one place. So at least your whole house was moving from one country to another. Even that choice we did not have. And whole day we used to washing utensils and stuff. then you did not wash that, did you?
No,
Then
plus,
you guys
plus
are
we
better.
were earning money also, right?
And you are earning money where most of the people here were without a job. So see, when you look at anything, you always find there are so many plus to it.
Positives, right?
See, when you say my shoulder is paining, you don't say this shoulder is not paining, this leg is not paining. वो नहीं, जो दर्द है वो ही बोलेंगे. So that is human nature. So if you you train yourself to ignore that pain, then you start enjoying the rest of the stuff. अरे बहुत मजा है यार.
Very good to take something, right? It's a very good point, sir. Because we always focus on the pain only. Every time we used to do that. And now also, sir, I'm doing the same thing. But this kind of will add a little perspective to the thinking of others as well. Okay, now, let's move on to the next question. The question is how to deal with conflicts on ship and how to maintain your sanity on board. Because conflicts, you cannot avoid. Conflicts होते रहते हैं. So
True. One thing I would say, conflicts are everywhere, not just on ship. They are even here. But resolving conflicts on board is easier than resolving here. There is a reason for it.
Okay.
On the ship, there is a specific hierarchy. Chief higher than second, who's higher than third and fourth you can argue who is higher, but generally there is a good hierarchy. Then the crew, then this, that. So when you don't agree with somebody, what's the conflict? The two of you disagree. Okay. Now this disagreement can be over different issues. एक technical issue होगा तो the hierarchy stands firm because this chief has got more experience than you, so there is no question. You can argue and then afterwards you say, but my is final and it is final. End of story.
Okay.
End of story. If it is say behavioral issue, okay, then one thing you can always think is, if I had a problem with like this here, that guy and me would have to remain together for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. Suppose you are working in a company or factory.
Understanding, sir.
Here, you are going to remain with that guy for no more than 4 or 5 months. So, you need to find a solution only for those 4 or 5 months, not 5 years. So, it is easier. Again, like before, there is no silver bullet to solve all this. If you say, no, you must generally take a back seat, no, that is wrong. If I say, no, you must be assertive, that is also wrong. Each time is different. But it's luckier because you have to solve it. Face it only for those 4 or 5 months. उसके बाद नहीं है. He is not going to be in your life ever again. That itself is a good release. You know, I don't have to deal with him. At the moment, let me find a solution. But वो तो तुम्हें ही ढूंढना पड़ेगा. उसमें कोई there is no formula for resolving that.
The second part of the question was how to maintain your sanity on board, because sometimes after a period of time, like 6 months or so, you become so repetitive, you become so monotonous, like not monotonous but हाँ एक point के बाद सर same schedule repeat होते रहता है. As a junior level I'm telling you, उसके बाद एक irritating हो जाता है वो, and घर जाना होता है. We have reached that saturating point. So अगर कुछ भी किसी ने बोल दिया, anyone can prick you, you just react out of, and then you don't want to react but you just react. So have no silver bullet for this also, like?
I won't say there's no silver bullet. This issue is something that can again crop up anywhere. It's not just on board. The guys doing a job here also can get into get into a monotony, and वो तो होता ही है. So for इसके लिए to have something of your own, for example, you take music, you take reading, you take writing, some good hobby which you actually like. That is a wonderful release. It could be painting, it could be whatever. You need to have a hobby. अभी यहाँ पर भी, if you see, why are so many people just addicted to the TV? On top of it, उठ के बाद बोलते क्या दिखाते हैं ये सीरियल में, but हर रोज देखना है. So that is an indication that they have no idea what to do with their. They have to be told ये करो, ये करो, ये करो. गैप भी मिल गई तो मेरे पास I don't have anything of my own.
Right, sir.
You see, this carom is always laid out here. Why? Because only then it will get played. Moment we both of us have some free time, धड़क उसको निकालते हैं, खेलते हैं. So I'm not saying this is a worthy hobby to have. No. What I'm saying is you should not feel dependent on somebody else to maintain your sanity. कि मुझे छुट्टी मिलेगी फिर मेरी sanity रहेगी. ये मेरे से बात करेंगे मेरी लैंग्वेज में फिर मैं सेन हो जाऊंगा. नो, यू हैव टू कीप योरसेल्फ सेन. दैट इज नॉट जस्ट ऑन शिप्स बट एनीवेयर एल्स. यही होना पड़ेगा. यू मस्ट हैव योर ओन स्टार्स टू स्टीयर बाय. इफ यू स्टीयर बाय द विंड दैट कीप्स चेंजिंग डायरेक्शन ऑल द टाइम. तो सैनिटी रखनी है तो तुम्हें खुद का कुछ चाहिए, एंड द बेस्ट इज टू हैव सम गुड हॉबी.
ओके, so good take, because basically because lot of juniors they haven't actually discovered their hobbies. Most of them are like, we watch series on board, and then series, why do we watch series? Because just to get into that sleepy mode, and then to not off, and then this goes on repetitive. So but one thing I would like to add कि ऐसा time हो जाता है at this junior level at least कि बहुत काम हो जाता है, and then later on you don't even have time to rest properly. So उसके बीच में then you understand what I'm saying कि वो हर दिन वही होता है. एक हाथ दिन मिल जाएगा संडे के दिन you want to be relaxed, having your biryani, play some series and just sleep, ऐसा वाला. But then वो हम लोग इतने schedule में involve हो जाते हैं कि later on we don't even know कि कब इतना 6 months cover हो गया, and then that saturation point needs. But then maybe when we become higher in ranks, we get some free time, and then this hobby वाला thing could work out. But I am completely, मेरे साथ हुआ था because I am not, my ship was very old, and बहुत time लगा adjust होने में. तो hobby का तो part आया ही नहीं बीच में. But then later on I like to make videos, so कैसे तो करके I used to go in engine room, shoot around, and I used to edit. That part really helped कि हाँ मतलब थोड़ा time उसमें जा रहा है, even though I was कि tired है, but then that part helped.
And it's not just time जा रहा है. You want to make your videos better. So you will go on YouTube to find out कि ये problem नहीं है. तो I'm sure. So it is that keeping your brain ticking all the time to do something better. Not that you are going to be an expert here. It does not matter. Your a hobby is something that you do. You know, listening to music is not a hobby. If you are dead, the music still plays. But your hobby is what you do. Maybe your voice is horrible, maybe your shooting is no good, but you like doing it. That's what is the value of that. इसके लिए hobby, you yourself have said, you have a hobby. Now you will try to get better at it, and you will not have enough time. It's always like that, and that's you like doing it. Love doing
Everybody has
it.
24 hours in a day. That's it. Okay, that answers that question, sir. Surely it does. Okay, let's talk about money, because as seafarers we earn a lot of money. We can say that compared to shore industry, shipping has a lot of money. So how to manage money, and things to, especially not things to invest in, but things to avoid spending money on.
Good. This is a good question, because too many shippies, after working long years there, come ashore, lose their money, and then they are forced to go back. I have seen too many unnecessary cases like this. So it's a very good question to have. First and foremost is, any business deal or any business that is being going to run in partnership has a very small chance of success unless both partners are there 100 days out of 100, and they have got equal share and specific skill sets which add to that.
Okay.
We don't fall anywhere in that, because most shippies who lose money, उनका ऐसे होता है, they are going to open some business with their brother or brother-in-law or best friend or whatever, and on paper the whole thing looks wonderful, because that guy is the expert. He's going to put all the effort in, I will put the money, and everything is going to go fine. In the end, 99 times out of 100, that guy ends up with that whole thing, and this guy ends up back on board with all the money gone. And this is natural. He is in a partnership, each partner always thinks that he is doing more than the other guy. अभी ये वहाँ पर काम करके वो डॉलर भेज रहा है, वो दूसरे को इतना दिखता नहीं. वो इसे दिन सुबह से रात तक मैं ही काम कर रहा हूँ, वो भी कर रहा है उधर, वो यहाँ दिखता नहीं उसको.
Right, sir.
एंड दैट गाय स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि साला सब पैसा तो मैं ही डाल रहा हूँ. सो ये ऐसे बिजनेस के इसमें जाने का ही नहीं गलती से. या लीव योर जॉब, कम हियर एंड रन योर बिजनेस. पार्टनरशिप में कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. व्हाई डू यू नीड पार्टनरशिप? फॉर टू थिंग्स. वन इज देयर द स्किल सेट दैट ही एड्स, सेकंड इज द मनी. स्किल सेट you can hire from outside. Money the bank will give you.
Right.
If your business model is okay, then both these things will fall in place.
Okay.
Like you hear people saying, you know, ये बैंक मुझे ना बोल दिया, सारे गधों को कुछ समझता नहीं, so I know my uncle is an MLA, उसने ये बैंक से दिलवाया. They are missing the whole point. The banks are sitting there to give you money. That is their job. So when the bank says I am not giving you loan, it means there is something wrong with what your business model. वो समझना चाहिए that my business model is wrong. Anyway, so shippies को what they have to avoid is to get into business with somebody else. No, करना है तो खुद करो या करो ही मत.
Okay.
And any business that involves, you know, a lot of buying and selling, like share में जाके ये करूँगा. Now we have got internet on ship, so I will do that. Just stay out of it. You have got mutual funds, first class है.
Right.
Real estate, when I was young, it was wonderful. अभी इतना wonderful है नहीं, इतना wonderful है नहीं, पर घर वर तो खरीदना ही पड़ेगा. That is there. So apart from that, gold and something are not great investment. So at this moment, I can only see mutual fund है, which seems to be good enough. Plus more safety के लिए bank ये करना है.
Okay. Okay, but, that sorts out.
Yeah, but most important is anybody promises high returns is to be avoided like the plague. There is no such thing as a high return. Okay. And it is very logical. If something is paying 20% profit, why would he tell you? He would take interest from the bank for 12%, make 20%, give back the 12%, and very soon he will be challenging Mukesh Ambani. Why would he come to you? It's a very straight logical thing. So just turn your back to cheap plot मिल रहा है.
Right.
By the time you come back, that plot कोई चढ़ गया होगा उस plot के ऊपर. ये झमेला नहीं.
As a youngster, so there's this guy thinking that we want to have that bike or we want to have that car. So we earn and we directly go and spend money on that. So we know that it is wrong. We know that we shouldn't spend the money on it. But then वो रहता है ना कि अंदर we have to buy that thing. And अभी नहीं तो कभी. When we will get old, then क्या करेंगे ऐसा वाला. What would you suggest? I mean, yeah, it's kind of a personal thing, but still I would like to know your point on this. कि वो रहता ही है ना, so we want to do adventures. We are young right now. We want that part of the what do you call materialistic things. Everybody has that, I feel. And later on we realize कि अरे पैसा है, but we still can't spend. But some guys do spend on money on that, and I've seen a lot of merchant navy guys spending expenses on bike, and then later on to compensate that expenses they come on board. But then still they're happy. They're like, I have my bike, it's happy, it's there at home. What would you suggest? Like, what is your take on this?
Okay, my take is something like this. Adventure, when you mentioned ना, adventure करना है तो जरूर spend and जरूर करो. It is worth doing it because our normal lives are not adventurous. Adventure करने के लिए पैसा खर्चा है तो जरूर करो.
ठीक है.
For that you don't have to buy that bike. You have to rent it. रेंट करो, कुछ बहुत घुमाओ, वापस दे दो. Why do you have to spend 7 lakhs for 10 lakhs for that? रेंट करके कर लो. So you have your adventure, you have your cake and eat it. If you are going to go around every day on that bike at high speed and ear splitting noise, I doubt it. That new thing wears out very quickly. Right. That is the beauty of having a good hobby. It does not wear out. You know, every day is a new day. यहाँ पर only the first day of the bike is new.
Right.
Second day it's not new. इसके लिए वो ये होता है. That's why there's nothing wrong with materialistic, except that it loses its value quickly. इसके लिए hire करो. By the time it loses value, उसको वापस दे दो. So for 1 lakh, you have enjoyed whatever was worth 7 lakhs. Now go to the next adventure. There is nothing wrong in adventures. But putting your money in adventure and then letting it rust in the bottom is pointless. That उसका फायदा नहीं है.
I'm pretty sure that I got my answer. I'm really sure I got my answer. Okay, we have covered almost everything. Last 2 questions left. So this question is, at your time of your career, so how did you handle the failing part of the job?
Failing part of the job is something that you have to accept as a failure, as a part and parcel of life. This शायद movies देख के हमें लगता है ना, the perfect guy is the guy who is good looking, he can dance well, he is smart, he is brave, at the same time he is sexy, फिर उसको रोने में भी कोई शर्म नहीं आती. You know, he is the best in everything. No, it's not necessary to be best in everything to be wonderful. You are going to have weak points, you are going to fail at some time, and there is absolutely nothing wrong to feel wrong about. तुम्हें ही प्रमोशन मिलेगा, कोई गारंटी नहीं है. You written the paper very nicely, but you will pass, कोई गारंटी नहीं है. You drive safely, you will not have an accident, गारंटी नहीं है. So all the energy or all your for satisfaction should go into your effort.
Okay.
Effort में मुझे बहुत मजा आया. I had done the right efforts.
This is an interesting point.
बस results तुम्हारे कभी भी हाथ में नहीं है. I'm sure you have played carom.
Sure.
Your control finishes the moment you do that. Till then you have calculated ये angle है, वो angle है, सब किया है आपने और as much as possible तुमने perfect मारा है. इसके बाद तुम्हारा control नहीं है. So you should not feel bad about that.
Sir, right.
That's it. So once you get your thing away from the results, then it's just fun all the time because you like doing this. This part was the fun part. Yes. जीते तो जीते, हारे तो हारे. You are happy both. So
efforts matters most. Like
only, not most. Only efforts matter. Results just do not matter.
Okay, got it.
अभी say you are in Wimbledon.
Okay.
Your opponent, you have reached the finals. Okay. Your opponent is better than you.
Of course. Okay.
तुम सर तोड़ो अपना, तुम तो runner up ही रहोगे. Does that make you a failure? No. It's exactly like that. If you fail, it does not mean. Have you put everything? You leave everything on the court when you come out. वैसे होना चाहिए. मेरी चमड़ी वहाँ छोड़ के आ गया, हार गया. तो हारा नहीं है.
There's no regret basically.
No regret.
Okay. You either learn or you either be successful. There's
yes.
no regret. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so we have come to the end of the podcast. So this is a very interesting question because I don't know about it, and I'm looking for answers, my answers basically, and I'm sure that this is going to help others also. So at what point in life we need to stop? Like, what is that enough point? Ki हाँ अभी इतना enough है. Because human being, I don't think so कि there's any enough point for that. But let's see, what's your take on this?
This is something that I need to think about because मैंने कभी इस बारे में सोचा नहीं.
Okay.
How much is enough? At this point, of course, I have thought about how much is enough, but that is purely from the money point of view.
Sure.
कि how much should I have in savings? कि all earnings stop and I live till 175 years. Still, my money must not run out. It's a crazy idea.
Right.
But when you are sailing, you need not think to that extent. But when you are sailing, there are a few things that start becoming differently important. For example, you start with money being very important. पहले घर बनाना है तुमको, you know, these are your requirements. But you have to, you know. Then the children come along. You get when you get married, children come along. Then that importance of your being at home increases or decreases, depends on whether you have boys or girls.
Okay.
And how are your children, and how is your wife?
All right.
I have heard a lot of things, and of course I found bringing up a daughter very, very easy.
Sure.
So did my wife. But many places we see that bringing up sons becomes very difficult as they become 14 and above. वो माँ का सुनते ही नहीं, बिल्कुल सुनते ही नहीं माँ का. So then father has to leave and come. यहाँ पर it's arguable कि if he is not listening at all, whose fault is it? Is it his fault or is it your fault? है ना? So ये बड़ा complicated सवाल है.
Right.
हाँ. That he must know his place. कि not listening मतलब in small things not listening and in big things not listening, इसमें फ़र्क होता है.
Right.
So your commitment कि मुझे वापस आना पड़ेगा, what is pulling you back, that is important.
Right.
कि सचमुच अभी ये this guy is gone off his rocker, maybe whoever fault it is, he's gone off his rocker, अब तो मुझे ही यहाँ के रहना पड़ेगा.
Understanding. So
Now,
but just to, sorry to interrupt. Sailing के लिए, when is that enough point? Like, since as you sailed for 35 years of experience, but I don't know whether I could do that or not. What is that enough point in sailing?
Each one will have his. I did not have enough point.
Okay.
I was happy to sail.
Okay.
My wife, whenever she could, she was sailing, and as I told you, I sailed only 6 months a year, so we had enough. So it was never like अरे बहुत हो गया, बहुत नहीं हुआ, क्यों बहुत होगा? If you are enjoying what you are doing, फिर बहुत नहीं होता. If you are suffering there, then a point will come कि बहुत हो गया. ऐसा है. So I was not sailing just for the money because we both liked it.
Right.
Then I gave up because I realized कि if I have to give back to the same profession, I need some time.
Right.
I cannot retire from the ship at 64 and then go looking for. अभी मैं college में.
That's what you are doing. Legacy. You are passing your legacy.
Yeah, that I could do because I left at 58. Na. Otherwise, my college would not have employed me at 64.
So I understand.
ये बात होती है. So enough is when the magnet this side becomes greater than the magnet that side. That's the time enough. अभी हर एक का magnet अलग है.
Understanding, so. So you really need to figure this part on your own only. But then I got a few points, like the magnet part. I got it. Just need to find out that balance between your family life, your money, and then your career as well, your passion as well. Leaning towards the edge might, like the other parts are left behind. So I guess I'll need to work on that on my own only. And everyone has their own point of view regarding this.
And but if you have some hobbies which are really wonderful, maybe that itself can be a magnet. अभी वहाँ जाके तुम वो hobby नहीं कर पा रहे हो, you decide कि मुझे photography में अभी इतना interest है कि I'll go do some 15 days course and take, yes, then that magnet will come much earlier to you. It's possible.
And the best part is, sir, at that point of life you have money also with you.
Yes.
So you have that freedom to do anything you want.
Yes. Then you can also marry both of them. In the sense, 6 महीना मैं वहाँ पैसा कमाऊंगा, 6 महीना I will devote to making documentaries or whatever. So you can have the best of both until my documentaries become so good that I can do without that money.
Right.
So all these things are possible, but it should be an attraction magnet, not a repulsion magnet. I don't want to do this job anymore. So you come home, you are most likely to be unhappy here also, because you have not been able to find happiness there. Happiness is finally अंदर में है मियाँ, तो वहाँ नहीं मिला यहाँ भी नहीं मिलेगा, और अगर वहाँ मिलेगा तो यहाँ भी मिलेगा.
Right. Okay. We have talked about everything, and I'm sure that most of this is going to help me a lot. मुझे क्या सर बाकी लोग को भी हेल्प करेगा, बिकॉज nobody, I have never seen a, in short, you know what, I was looking for such videos कि what are the things, like कैसे होता है. So I thought why not make a video about it, and I just approached you, and thank you so much for that. We have cleared everything. Sir, now to end with the podcast, I have this one question. How would you sum up shipping, the future of shipping? Like, what is your take on the future of shipping from 2022?
Okay. First of all, nobody knows the future, so let me start from that point.
Okay.
But you can guess the future by looking at the past, and a very wonderful litmus test has happened only in the last 3 years. The whole world came to a stop,
COVID-19.
except shipping.
Yeah.
Shipping did not stop. Need I say anything more?
No, sir. I was on board. Company forced me, like, please stay on board. We will provide you compensatory, but we need to run the ships. So that really answers the question. Okay, to add a point, do you think that automation will be so advanced that it will replace seafarers? Do you think that?
The thing is, automation का क्या है? Even today, the automation exists.
Yes, it
to
does.
replace us. We have already gone there and come back.
Okay.
Because our job is in two halves: running of machinery and maintenance of machinery.
Right.
Automating the running part has been done long back. उसकी कोई high tech की जरूरत नहीं. Only thing now is just getting better and better. But what about the maintenance part? वो करेगा कौन? इसके लिए हमारा काम रहेगा ही, at least in the foreseeable future. At least मतलब your son you may not put into shipping, but in your lifetime you are okay.
Okay.
Because when you look at the complexities of for maintenance, and you've seen maintenance being done, so it's not a routine maintenance. You could ऐसे नहीं है कि that where you build up something around it only when you make the purifier, वो सब अपने आप कर दे. ये नहीं हो सकता. So it's still a long way off. Of course हो सकता है. They have found that the cost of doing it is so fantastically high and the reliability is so much lower. So अभी के लिए तो problem नहीं है. और running ships was anyway is going to be automated.
Okay. So that's it. That's all my questions were. I really need to thank you so much for agreeing to coming on the podcast. Most of the people don't. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your life experience with us. It is a big thing. And so thank you so much for inviting me to your house. It's a beautiful house.
Thanks. You are always welcome here anytime.
Thank you so much for saying
anyway,
that.
guys, I hope you are not bored. But whatever I said was from the bottom of my heart.
Right.
Whether it is right or wrong, you guys will find out if you follow it.
No, the sir has given a lot of experience. I've shared a lot of experience, and I'm very sure this is going to help a lot of people. I'm very sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and if you do like this video, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.